All right, Shalom. All praise going on. It goes to Yahweh by Shmuel Rashad, by Hashem Dash. That belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Once again, this is GMS News and Prophecy. And I have another article here real quick. This is from the courts. Make sure I always get the website. This is QZ from the courts website, qz.com. All right, and this headline: the divide between the U.S. and Europe is growing, just as Putin hoped. Okay, so once again, there's another article on the division between once strong allies, Europe and the U.S. Being manifested. All right. Over the recent years, especially after the last administration, it was brought out during the Obama presidency that the U.S. was spying on their allies, such as here you see German Chancellor Angela Merkel being, she's pictured here with Trump, but she was actually spied upon by the U.S. and other countries as well. I believe Turkey was brought out. I believe England may have been brought out, but they've been spied upon by the U.S. So that was one event that happened that brought attention to the fact that maybe Europe, the EU as a whole, should fall back and scale back from America. There's also the economic crisis that's been going on over there and other issues that have been going on between the EU and NATO that has been bringing division to America and Europe. Okay, and this is and it's further being manifested here. This article is from September 1st, 2018, this past Saturday, and once again, well, I'm getting ready to read it, but the main reason behind the division is money. All right, which like Jake say in the world, man, you mess with a man's money, you're messing with his life basically, something to that extent, but you never mess with a man's money. So here it is. Well, let me just read it. I don't want to ramble too much. So it says the dollar is arguably Washington's most powerful peacetime weapon. But when Donald Trump ignored his EU partners and reapplied sanctions on Iran, undermining a nuclear treaty that European leaders believe in, he added to a long list of officials who resent this financial ammunition. Okay? So it's mainly the money that's going to divide between the relationship that America and the U.S. has with each other. Okay? Just like if you made a bad drug deal, Jake, they pretty much know things like power, wire, and things like that. So if somebody makes a bad drug deal, things go wrong. What happens? The guns get pulled out, and everything's starts blazing, and that's eventually what's going to happen because the U.S. is being funny towards the EU, okay? So continue on. It says what's striking is that this time the complaints aren't just coming from Moscow and Caracas, but allies in Berlin. All right. So even the allies of America are going to turn against it. So it says last week Germany's Federal Minister for Foreign Affairs, Heiko Maas, acknowledged a growing rift between the U.S. and Europe, calling for the latter to consider building a bigger military, creating his own version of institutions like the World Bank, and perhaps even prying his bank payment channels apart from the dollar-dominated network. Something that China, Iran, Japan, Iraq has just done along with Russia. They've moved away from trading with the dollar. So this is even another reason the global economy to crash, but especially the U.S. economy to crash, because if nobody's going to use your money, then how are you going to trade? You know, how are you going to make deals and you know, make progress within your so-called nation? All right. So it says, Maasa's point: the U.S. is no longer a reliable partner. Now, I've been doing videos and lessons on this particular point pretty much the whole year, you know, when the article comes out. And this just further proves that this is the prophecy pursuant to the book of Obadiah. Okay? So let me go ahead and get into it. This is Obadiah 1 and 7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy, and matter of fact, I think I brought this scripture out in a video last night. So you can't tell me that the Spirit of the Lord, Yahweh Basham Washai, is not speaking expressly and speaking through his men. Okay? The prophets, the true prophets here at Great Millstone, the Spirit of the Lord is speaking through us to tell you what's happening according to the will of the Lord. So it says, Obadiah 1 and 7, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. Who? Speaking about Esau. All right, mainly America. It says, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Okay, because scripture says that when the article said that the U.S. is no longer a reliable partner. Okay. All right, and the men that were at peace with thee, meaning, you know, the EU, Europe, they're turning against America right now. So it says, they that eat thy bread. What is thy bread? Thy bread is talking about your money. Okay, your money system. All right. It says, thy bread have laid a wound. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound unto thee. There is none understanding in him. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and understanding out of the mount of Esau? So this is, you know, what's going on, man. Okay. You know, what's going on is that the EU and the US are pulling apart. Okay. So back in the article, it says, widening the U.S.-Europe rift would suit Vladimir Putin just fine. Instead of the U.S.-led unipolar structure that's been in place since the Cold War, the Russian president is striving for a world controlled by regional powers, according to Attila Dond, a senior vice president at Teneo Intelligence. And that's why it says in Psalm the 2nd chapter, why do the heathen imagine a vain thing? You know, why do the heathen rage and imagine a vain thing? Because no matter how much prophecy it is fulfilling for America to be destroyed by these countries, nonetheless, the Lord also says that Russia and Magog, well, Russia is Magog, but Russia, which is Gog and Magog, they're going to go into slavery along with the rest of the Edomites. All right, the Chinese, which are the Moabites, are going to go into slavery with the other heathen. Same thing with the Ishmaelites and the Elamites. All right, they're all going to go into captivity. Okay. It says, in a fragmented, divided system, Russia would have a more powerful seat at the table. So let me go into this scripture here in the book of Daniel, the 40th chapter, because it says that the kingdom, the fourth kingdom, which is the EU, NATO, and also includes America. All right, it says it shall be a partly divided kingdom. All right, let's see. I'm just going to read these two scriptures. Daniel 2:40 and 41. And the fourth kingdom, which is the Roman Empire, which we're in the last end of the Roman Empire, which pursuant to Revelation 13, it was the pagan Roman Empire was brought down, brought up, and brought back into the new modern empire of America, which is NATO and the EU brought together. So it says, in the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron. And this alliance was once strong, but now we see it weakening. Okay? And the reason being, it says, because for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these shall it break in pieces and bruise. Verse 41, it says, and whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. Okay? But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, All right, the technology, the military might is still strong. It says, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And that's what we're seeing now. Okay? It's fragmented, it's divided. And the other Edomite nations, such as Russia, are looking on that. Okay? And Russia being the opposing power to the U.S. So this is prophecy being fulfilled here. It says in a fragmented, divided system, Russia would have a more powerful seat at the table. Putin can't get there through direct confrontation. Western alliances must be a cracking, which is cracking. It is cracking that statue, the toes of the feet, the miry clay and the iron is cracking right now. It says, but they still greatly overpower Russia because they're together. All right? But they're all going to fall apart. It says, so it makes sense that he would instead meddle in elections, engage in information warfare, undermine the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, the paywall. Once again, there's everything to do with money, and aid politicians who are eager to split the EU apart. Because once you have the money, you got the power. And the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, they control true money and power, but they want the souls of the people. So they use a false currency, which is US dollar, to control the people, and these other countries are seeing that, so they're trying to pull away and start their own thing. But the Lord is the one that's going to be lasting in the end, and His people, and He's the one that's going to be laughing in the end, and His people. So it says here, so it makes sense that he would engage instead meddle in elections, engage in information warfare, undermine the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, paywall, and aid politicians who are eager to split the EU apart. As Trump alienates even the U.S.'s closest and most immediate partners, like the UK and Canada, you can also expect Russia's cyber machine to get more active and sophisticated. This is bad news for Western powers. There may be nothing to stop the U.S. and Europe from growing apart. And it's not going to be nothing because it's all prophecy according to the Bible. I just read it. You can't do nothing against the truth before the truth. All right? And that's a message for you Rothschilds and you illuministic families out there. All right? There's nothing you can do to stop this word. All right? It says, but if the shift is exasperated by Russian manipulation, the fallout could be messier and more dangerous than it needs to be, and it will be because World War III will soon take place. All right. See, I had one more scripture in mind. Matter of fact, let me see, because I was reading this last part and something came into mind. But yeah, well, that's the point. Is as they're growing apart. And this is the kingdom of Esau falling. Okay? So let me go back to Daniel 2:44. It says, and in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom, which shall never be destroyed. You're seeing that now. That's why Yahweh said the kingdom of heaven is within you, being the elect, because we have the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding on how to rule the kingdom. What's right and what's wrong, okay, as it should be. So it says, once again, it says, and in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom, which shall never be destroyed. And in the kingdom shall not be, it says, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, meaning we're not going to wage war with some nation and then they get in power. No, this is it. Once we get this power, that's it. It says, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So the kingdom of Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai is going to stand forever, man. Okay? No matter what happens. All right? It's all through the Spirit. But with that, I'm going to end it there. Hope I was edified. I'm going to give all praises once again to Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai, Basham Kakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. And keep watching this truth because this thing is going to get hot. All right, World War III is on the horizon. The chip is on the horizon. We just got to endure to the end. Shalom.